Guys, so what we got here today is an '04 Dodge 2500 5.9. I believe it's the second half of the year. It's a little different motor, but we have a rusty oil pan. And I've watched several YouTube videos, and none of them kind of matched up to this one. So we are going to give this a go, and I think we can do it pretty quick. I'm pretty sure about 4 or 6 bolts we can remove, jack the motor up, jack the transmission up a little bit, and get that thing out of there. But what we're going to start with is this top. First, we're going to have to remove this plastic cover right here. So it's just 4 bolts and your oil cap. And we didn't like, we did this a little bit ago, and we didn't like how tight the oil tube was against this electronics. So we're going to pull that loose right here and just slide that out of the way. And we're also going to have to remove this heater hose. So keep in mind, when we jack this motor up, we are going to watch this nipple coming out. And you can see there's a lot of play right here. We're going to take it all the way up to right before your insulation touches your firewall. And that's when we'll have enough room to drop the oil pan. So we are going to take this thing up in the air and drain the oil, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, before we go up here real quick, you can see that we now have our heater hose taken off. We have our plastic cover off, tubes loose. Remember, what we're watching for is we're watching for this nipple not to go up here and damage anything. Okay, so here we go up. Slowly but surely. Alright, now for the underneath side, where we're going to start is your motor mount. So these things, Dodge, I hand it to you. It's pretty awesome. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but they are open top motor mounts. So all you have to do is take these loose and they will slide up out. So you do not have to remove these nuts completely. I forgot to mention it on the front, but you do not have to do anything to the fan shroud. It separates. Pretty good stuff. So what you're going to see is, yeah, I kind of dummy and messed up. I changed that oil pan and it leaks in the back. I need to put, I guess I should have put former gasket on the top of that. But that's allowing me to make this video. Again, I'm going to show you motor mount number 2. You can see it pretty good. That is just going to come loose. You do not have to completely remove it. And the only other bolts you're going to have to remove is your transmission mount bolts. Just 2. I think they're 14 millimeter, 15 millimeter bolts right there. Completely remove those and it'll allow you to lift that thing up, because as you can tell, it's pretty tight getting that oil pan out there. We have to drop it below the pump tube to get it out. So we are going to drain the oil, and that's just a 3/8 ratchet. So we're going to drain the oil, and then after we do that, I'll show you about how we're jacking the motor up. Alright, so we're pretty lucky to have a lift. However, you could do this with just a regular jack or whatever you have. But what I've done is just take me a 2x4. I call it my 8,000 pound jack, because I got me a 2x4 in here, and where it's at is sitting on the block beside the oil pan. And I just have it sitting there. So what we'll do is we'll just ease this lift down, and that'll jack up both sides a little, but mostly the driver's side. And what I have over here,
passenger side.
Yeah, passenger side, sorry. What I have over here, I'm sure most of y'all see or have, but it's just a little 2-ton porta power. And we'll stick it up in between the motor mount and the front differential like that. And then we'll jack it up. So we're going to get this thing jacked up in the air where it needs to be, and then we'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, OSHA folks, you can go a little crazy on us now, because we know this is not OSHA approved, but it's what we got. So here's around. So remember the whole idea, and never stick your hand under the motor or any place that it could fall when you mash it, but the whole idea is to get this space so we can drop this pan down and clear that tube. So we've stuck a 2x4 there, and we've dropped the lift down to push that motor up and create all that space. And as you can see right here, we have stuck that porta power in there, and we have put it on the bottom of that motor mount. If you can see it better right there, and that is pushing up, and you can see how far that is out of the mount. and that one is completely out of the mount, as you can see. So that's how much room we've gained. So now we are going to take all of these wonderful bolts out of this oil pan and see if it slides right out. We may have to take our transmission jack and put it underneath our transfer case here and pick it up just a little bit if this oil pan won't slide out. So let's see how that goes. Alright, now for what we've all been waiting for, guys. So we got all of our bolts out. We had the jack up, the transfer case just a little bit, just a couple inches. And you can see I showed you where the mounts was. So this pan will just come straight down, straight out, guys, no problem whatsoever. So now all we gotta do is replace our gasket and back together. We're at about a half-hour work time right now, so that's not too bad. So we'll be back whenever this goes back in place. All right, guys, gasket in. Now the daunting task of putting all 125, no, I really don't know how many there is, but there's a lot of bolts in this pan. So they all torque down at 21 foot-pounds from my research. So we'll get all these put in there and torque down. Okay, now the good part. All of our bolts are in, they're all torqued down good. Double check those. Remember, start in the middle, cross when you're torquing, and then check them again. So now we're going to let the back of this transmission down, and then we're going to move forward to the mounts. Okay? Just be careful, watch what's happening. Alright, come forward. Alright, now we've got that let down a good bit. So what we're going to do, you see these is, remember they got to drop back down in those. So if you don't care, take that lift up, and we'll watch, make sure these bolts drop in on the outside as you're going up. Keep going, that's just a lift locking. Keep going up. Alright, now let's let this one down a little bit. Let me see, get a light. Sorry guys. Oh, that wasn't what you wanted to see. Okay, so there's that bolt right there. Let's let this back down and watch it drop in place. See that dropping down in place? We can let that all the way down. This is absolutely done, unnecessary. Take it out. Let that fall. Alright, take these blocks of wood out. We're good to go. Alright, take that lift on up in place, and we'll watch this side come right back down where it's supposed to be. Alright, we are good. On up a little bit. Let that board come out of there. Alright, we'll take this expensive 8,000 pound jack out of here. Throw it in place. Alright, so we're all good everywhere. We are just going to tighten up motor mount bolts and head back to the top. Alright guys, big Dodge coming down. We're ready just to reattach the top. Got some fine helpers over there. Advantage lift serves me well. I like it so far. Alright, back to the top end, guys. We're just going to put it together real quick. That's all it takes, one bolt to put your dipstick back on. And let me tell you guys what, you see those pliers? If they ever go down that hole right there, it sucks. Took us a while, maybe. Just saying. Alright, one down. Now we're just going to slide this heater hose back on here. Didn't hardly lose any antifreeze at all. Take these pliers and just drop that back down there. Sorry, I'm not very good at holding and doing it at the same time. Alright, that is good to go. Now what we like is our plastic cover on top. Oh, sorry. And our 4 bolts and our oil cap. Of course, don't forget oil. It's pretty important sometimes. Serious total time, I think, if you want to count cleaning up gasket and everything, I would safely call this, if it's the first time you've done it, probably an hour, hour and a half with these directions. The first time I did it took me a lot longer than that, just because we was afraid of watching around, making sure stuff didn't get pinched, stuff didn't get kinked, pulled on, cracked, broke. So, but I think the easiest oil pan change I've saw so far. All right, now we add oil and get it fired up and check for leaks. Alright guys, that concludes our Ram 2500 oil pan change. I hope it helped you guys out. Hit the like button. Thanks.